Hi guys and girls, welcome back to Watch the Time. So I'm really pleased to be able to bring you another Islander. This is the ISL-121, also known as the Islander Bayport. A few different colour variations they've got at the moment. I really like the brown one, so that's the one I've got in. Really, the one thing I'll say, and there's no reason for me to say this, but it's the truth. Islander watches just keep going from strength to strength to strength. Honestly, I've had watches from before I started my channel from Islander watches, and they were decent, no doubt about it. But now the quality is just getting better and better. Some of the new offerings, this one included, I don't want to say too much too early, but they're phenomenal. We're talking AliExpress money, but from the States, and obviously Mark, being a watchman, knows what he's doing. They're producing some banging watches. I've had a few now where they've been good enough to send them to me, and I keep buying them. This one probably be no different. Yeah, what can I say? It's probably not ideal for someone who's reviewing watches all the time to keep buying and keeping them. I'm gonna end up with a collection. I'm gonna have to build an extension. But it's a testament to what they're doing over there, really. That I'm keeping them. I'm liking them as much as I am. As I say, this watch is one that I wanted to get in. I really hope by the end of the video you'll know if it's for you or not. If it is, I'll leave a link in the description. So thanks for tuning back in. I do appreciate all your support. And without further ado, let's get the camera turned around and get on with it. Hi guys, so this is the watch. Excuse the noise because I've got the fan on. It's quite warm and I've got the kids playing in the other room, so I'll try and make it so that you can't hear too much, but I apologise for any background noise in advance. As you can see, another Islander watch. Usual packaging you get with the Islanders. They don't spend an awful lot of money on the packaging, but I don't really mind that. As you can see, warranty card inside, 3 links I've taken out for it to fit my wrist, cushion to keep it safe in transit, and just a cardboard box. But like I say, it does the job. And they're very affordable watches over at Island Watches, so I don't mind really. I'm glad they spend all of the money on the watch. So this is the one. It's a brown dial. This is the Islander Bayport. This is the ISL-121. Saw it, a few different colour variations. I'll bring them up now. But this was the one I really was drawn to and had to get it in. Really loved the look of it. Not many brown dial watches that I own or have owned in the past, so I really wanted to have a look at this. And as you can see, lots of play with that sunburst dial, nice brown ceramic bezel. But we'll run through it very quickly. So as I said, ISL-121. Inside it's running an automatic Seiko NH35 movement. I think I've said this once, twice, 100 million times at this point. Fantastic movement, the NH series of movements. There's a real reason they use them in micro brands and stuff, because you just really can't go wrong with the price. The price of these movements, you pick them up for sort of 20 odd pound, and they kind of always run well within parameters, and normally much better than the parameters suggest. So I can see why they used them. 24 joules, 21,600 beats per hour. Yeah, really cool movement. You'll never hear me complain on most brands using it, especially at the sort of price points the watches that I feature on the channel operate at. The construction of the watch, aside from the crystal and the bezel insert, all 316L stainless steel. So that's the case, the bezel, the crown, solid end links, the bracelet, partly milled clasp, and case back. As you can see, they've made quite a good improvement on the case back. I do like that. We'll talk about that in just a few moments. The case thickness of this watch, it's a little bit thick, as you can see. It's 14.2 millimeters. The case diameter, I measure from the 8 to the 2, because obviously I don't want to get the crown involved in that. It came in at 40.4 millimeters. When you go from the 9 to the 3, including the crown, it was coming in at 43.6 millimeters. The lug width is 20. That does taper down to 18 and back up to 20 at the 20 millimeters at the partly milled clasp. And the lug to lug, tip to tip, given it has got female end links of the center link, was coming in at bang on 48 millimeters. So yeah, good dimensions there. Wears well, a little bit thicker than I think it could have been, but I do think with the deep etch case back, I think it would have been probably quite difficult to get it much smaller. Plus also that, as you can see on the bezel, look at that nice bit of grip on there as well, nice coin edge bezel. But yeah, I won't go off on a tangent too much. The case back, as I showed you a moment ago, is screwed down, and it is a deep etched case back. Let me get it around the right way. Excuse me, guys. As you can see there again, Ireland. I think they did a competition to see who came up with the best case back, and I think they've nailed it. I think it looks really cool. I apologise, it keeps coming in and out of focus, but that looks really nice. Just with the Islander logo, and yeah, looks really nice. The bezel is a ceramic bezel, and it's 120 click unidirectional. I'll let you have a listen. Yeah, pretty solid. 120 click, no bounce, no back play, and it lines up bang on, as you'll see. Yeah, really cool. And the crown is situated at the 3 o'clock, and it is a screw down crown, and has got the Islander logo on there. Fits nicely given it is a circular logo, so it fits on the crown really nice. The strap, like the case, is a mixture of brushing and polishing. So on the case you've got brushing at the side, you've got a chamfered edge that's polished, you've got brushing at the top of the lugs, and the bracelet is brushed all throughout, and it's a H-link bracelet. I do love me a H-link bracelet. I just think they wear so much more comfortable, and as I suggested before, it has got a bit of taper going from the 20 to 18, and it has got screw pins. Has it? No, push pins, excuse me. No, it has got screw pins. What am I talking about? There you can see them. I've got a little gripe. The reason I forgot they were screw pins is just because how thin they are. A little bit of a gripe with that, which we'll talk about in a bit. But yeah, finished nicely, brushed all throughout, and a H-link bracelet. And the clasp, partly milled. You can see it's got a couple of scuffs on it from general wear and tear that I've been wearing it now for a couple of weeks. Islander print on there now, which is nice. Partly milled. Two parts of the 3 are milled, the outer part isn't, but I do know that on their new releases they got a fully milled clasp, but that's a nice upgrade, but just not on this version. As I said, the crystal covering the dial, and the dial is beautiful, as you can see. Nice facets and sunburst going on there. It's sapphire crystal. Looks like a bit of flat sapphire crystal, but yeah, sapphire nonetheless. The water resistance you'll see down at the 6 o'clock position is 200 meters, so that would give you 20 atmospheres of water resistance, and the weight will appear in the top right hand corner. It's just below 159 grams with 3 links taken out. With those 3 links back in, you're probably looking in around 170 grams, so a good bit of heft in the watch, and wears nicely for it, distributed nicely throughout the watch given it's on a bracelet. But let's have a look at the dial now, guys, in a bit more detail. So you've got a minute track going around the outer edge. You've got applied elements everywhere. You've even got a date border around the date at the 3 o'clock. You've got circular battens everywhere except for the 12, 6 and 9. At the 12 you've got a double batten. At the 6 and 9 you've got a singular batten, and circular battens everywhere else. Aside from that, the dial is printed on as opposed to applied. You've got the logo at the 12, just below the 12 indices. You've got the logo just above the indices at the 6 o'clock. You've got automatic 200M. But for me, the star of the show really is just the dial. I like the fact they've gone for sort of rose gold hands and indices. That does really complement the brown dial. I think it looks better than if they'd gone for silver. And it is all loom filled, guys. I'll bring that up now. The loom on it was fantastic. No complaints at all. They haven't messed about with their loom. As I've known of Islander, generally they do put a lot of loom on, and it tends to be, and it is the case with this also. Being that it runs an NH35 movement inside, I'll just undo the crown. The crown's a good size, no problems with the crown. If you turn it, you can charge it. You take it out to the 2nd position, it will hack, as you would have seen probably on many of these movements. You put it back in. If you take it to the 1st position, excuse me, you can scroll through the date to whatever date you want to stop it as, and they have colour matched the date window as well, which is fantastic. They've gone for sort of like a brown date window, date with white. It would be nice if it was a little bit dark, a bit more off white, but I think it looks fantastic. I think they've done really well to colour match the date, which is beautiful. Yellow has second hand for a bit of contrast as well, which is nice. But yeah, that's the dial, guys. As you can see, the dial just is stunning with the sunburst effect, just playing with the light really well. The brown with the rose gold and stuff is beautiful. I think they've done very well with the dial. But yeah, that's the dial, guys. That's the movement. That's everything that's going on with the hands and loom. But I'll leave it. Actually, let me screw it back out. As I say, no problems with the knurling on this as well. A good size crown. But let me pop it on the wrist quickly. give you an idea of what it looks like on my wrist. My wrist is just above a 7-inch wrist for your reference. And as you'd have seen at the start, I did take 2 links out for it to fit my wrist. And that's what it looks like. A real stunning piece. As you can see, a little scuff mark just there. It arrived like that, unfortunately. So the few scuff marks throughout. But yeah, nice piece. And for the prices, these are very much in line generally now with the prices on AliExpress, given the prices have gone up on AliExpress. So they are a real proposition. And I've had quite a few now. And the one thing I'll say about Mark over at Long Island Watches is the quality is getting better and better. But yeah, that will now take me on to what I think is pants and Pukka about the watch. If you've ever watched before, you know I always start with pants. I like to kind of hide with Pukka. So what I think is pants is, yeah, the scuff marks that came on the watch. There's a couple on there on the lugs. There was a couple again throughout. Generally just on the bracelet, to be honest. None on the one over there. But like I say, it was a bit disappointing to see the watch come with a couple of scuff marks on it. Not that I've had that before in Islander watches, but it's the first time. So I have to mention it. As I also started to allude to earlier, the screws, the width of the screws is just a bit too narrow. You can't really use the tool that they normally give you because it's too wide. So I'd like to have seen maybe a mil width, or just supply screwdrivers that fit, because I struggled to find one that fit there. So yeah, that was a bit of an issue with the screws width. And again, the partly mill clasp, although they've rectified it on one of their newer models, one that there's a couple that I actually really like the look of, so I might try and get one in. But on this one, it's not there, and it's been like this for a while. So I'm glad they made the improvement, but just not on this watch. I think the watch itself is fantastically well made. Fully mill clasp would have been a nice touch for such a nice watch. So yeah, they're the 3 things, guys. Just to surmise what I think is pants, I'd go with the scuffs on the bracelet, the screws width, and the partly mill clasp. What I think is Pukka, lots more. The dial is beautiful. That inner ring, yeah, is really nice. The sunburst effect, the brown colour they've used is really nice. Nice elements. The hands and indices, as I've said before, I do like the fact that the date border, the hands and indices, they've all gone for like a rose gold, which looks fantastic against the brown. The date border, as I've already mentioned. The loom is banging. They've not messed about with their loom. Really pleased to see that. The bezel, yeah, the bezel lines up fantastically. One more listen. Crisp as you like. No bounce, no back play. Every click as good as the last, and lines up bang on. Look at that. No issues at all. The case back, as I've already mentioned, that deep etched case back is something that I really like. I'm really glad to see it. For a while they were going with a high polished case back, and I wasn't a fan, but the case back they've gone to now is beautiful. The H-Link bracelet, yeah, the taper on it. The H-Link generally I love. They're probably my favourite bracelet. I think they're just extremely comfortable. So yeah, the bracelet and the crown nicely deep etched, and just the size. Some might think it's a bit big, but I do like, especially with automatics where you're generally going to engage with the watch more, I do like a good size crown, so you got a bit of purchase. So yeah, the crown as well. So again, just to surmise quickly, guys, what I think is Pukka is I go with the dial, the hands and indices, the date border, the loom, the bezel, the case back, bracelet and crown are what I think is Pukka. And would I recommend the watch? 100%. Again, Islander, Long Island watches, they're just going from strength to strength. As I say, the price point of this comes in at $299, and it's a whole lot of watch for the price. As I say, what you're getting, the finishing, yeah, beautiful watch. I would definitely recommend this watch, guys. I will leave a link in the description taking you over there, so please feel free to use it. But guys and girls, please let me know what you think about this watch, and maybe any other watches you may want to see on the channel. And as always say, don't forget to like and subscribe, and always watch the time. Take care, guys. All the very best.